What's good, everybody? It's a Saber4, and I'm finally going to show you a brand new deck profile for the expanded format. Now, Arceus or Brilliant Stars, I always confuse it with Arceus, but Brilliant Stars, our latest set, is out. Unfortunately, I couldn't get all of the cards that I wanted just yet, so can't really show anything from the new set. But I do have this expanded deck profile featuring one of my favorite Pokemon, Salamence. So, Salamence, if you guys know me, you know that it's my favorite Pokemon. I always sort of go back and forth between, other Pokemon like Swampert, Espeon, and a few others, but when it comes down right to it, Salamence is my favorite. And I always want to use any good Salamence card when I have the chance, but most of the time, they're not that good. And Stage 2 Pokemon in general are not that good, which this guy usually is. So this is the latest Salamence card from Evolving Skies, the Dragon-esque set, you could say. And on paper, it looks like a decent Stage 2. 170 HP, as good as it's going to get. The new Dragon-type Pokemon don't have any weaknesses, which is nice. To retreat, it can be kind of typical. And it has an ability that is a one-sided War Point. I wish you could pull any Pokemon you wanted, because I think that's pretty fair. I mean, it's a strong ability, but this is a Stage 2. But no, your opponent gets to choose what to promote. So it's not necessarily a boss's orders. It's like a one-sided war point. But it's still good, forcing your opponent to switch. And then the Fierce Dragon attack does 100 damage for 2 energy, both of which are different type. Water and Fire, making this a difficult Pokemon to power up. And if the Pokemon already has any damage counters on it, it does 120 more, so 220 for 2 energies. Now, this looks pretty solid, 220 for 2. High damage, you can get one-hit knockouts, but this is still going to be a difficult Pokemon to work with. And it's nearly impossible to make this work in Standard. This is why I had to go with Expanded. Because this guy needs a Fire and a Water energy, there isn't really any good methods to do energy acceleration on him. Like, I could do something like Turbo Patch before I evolve to it, but that's very inconsistent. It's not reliable. Stuff like Welder wouldn't work, and it's not even around in Standard. So we gotta rely on Expanded because we gotta use the Double Dragon Energy. At least with Double Dragon Energy, we have 4 energies that I can just attach. 1 energy attachment, and then this guy can work. That's the point. And we also get to utilize this guy too, but I'll talk about him later. So the Salamence line, it's 3 Salamence. I usually go with 3 Stage 2s as opposed to 4 because of space issues and consistency. It's nice to have that 4th one, but space is extremely tight in this deck, as you guys are going to see. So I do 3. It's going to be our main attacker. And then the rest of the line, I do the Bagon from Evolving Skies 2, Bagon or Bagon, however you want to say it. We have a few options in Expanded, but they're very average. I wish I could use somebody that has 1 retreat, but they have 60 HP, and you gotta use all the HP you can get these days on small Pokemon. So going with this guy, pretty cute. Bacon, also one of my favorites, of course. And then for the Stage 1, we're also going to go with the Evolving Skies Shelgon. There is the yarn-looking one from, I think it's, what was the set? I forgot. One of the Sun and Moon sets. I don't remember right now. You can do that, and it can do more damage if you have damage counters on yourself. And then for 1 Double Dragon, you can do like 90 damage for 1 attachment. It's solid, but most of the time, we're not just going to have damage counters on, we're probably going to be dead. So with this guy, if I have to attack with him, you do 50, which is okay. I mean, not really, but as good as these Pokemon are going to get. And if we get hats, we can be immune on the next turn. It's this sort of flip a coin attack, so that's nice. And it also has the 90 HP, which is the most important thing. Gotta go with that instead of the 80 HP ones. So this is the Salamence line, and we're gonna have to use Zigzagoons in this deck. This Galarian Zigzagoon with Headbutt Tantrum, you play it down, put a damage counter on one of your opponent's Pokemon, and it's the best way to activate this card's condition for Fierce Dragon, and then we can do 220. I mean, you don't want to attack with this guy and then attack again to get the plus. You're probably going to die anyway. Uh, it might sound crazy when I say this with 170 HP, but this is the reality of today. So we gotta use a method like this. Another option, although I don't really recommend, is to use the frogs, the Intellion line. I mean, I guess you could do that using the Drizzly. You can, it functions as a support Pokemon too. That's gonna give you a little bit of consistency, and you ultimately evolve into Intellion to place damage counters every turn. But it's two stage 2 lines. It's going to take up a lot of space. We're going to have to sacrifice a lot of other cards. And I mean, yeah, I decided against it. I mean, maybe in the future I'll try it, but I decided against it. With Zigzagoon, it's just a few basic Pokemon, the scoop up nets, which you were probably going to have to run in the Drizzly line anyway. So it takes up less space. Let's just say that. Another method, like if we had any good Pokemon that could spread on all of your opponent's Pokemon through an attack, I would prefer that much better because this guy, you're just going to place a few damage counters and, you can't really waste his ability. You can't really waste those effects. It's not going to be the greatest thing in the world once again, but there isn't really any other option. The Pokemon that spread on all of your opponent's Pokemon, they're usually stage 1s, unless I would use like, I don't know, Tapu Koko promo, which I don't even have and it needs a DC. So I thought of something like that, but it's not a very pretty situation either. Mew actually, with the bench barrier, can help us a little bit with side power. Spread on your opponent's Pokemon the 3 damage counters. Maybe if the Mimikyu that spreads 4 would work with any energy, I would use it, but it needs a psychic. And that's another thing. We can't really find somebody that's going to be compatible with the fire and water energies. This guy needs to work. So it's just too difficult to find a partner, and there wouldn't really be anyone anyway. That's not a stage 1. It needs to be a basic because of space and consistency. But anyway, this is the Zigzagoon line, just 3, and then 3 of the scoop up net. This pairs up nicely with Jirachi too. If I open with this Pokemon, it's going to give me a little bit of support, a little bit of consistency. If you guys know me, you know that in my Stage 2 Rogue anti-meta decks, I don't like to put cards like Tapu Lele, the DNA Crobat, these support Pokemon that are just going to give 2 prizes and just you let your opponent say, oh, okay, cool, I'll just kill 4 of the regular ones and then pull the Crobat for an easy win. I don't like that. You kind of have to go all out with anti-meta for me if you want to do anything, but maybe I'm just wrong. A lot of people would rather have the consistency. And then the last Pokemon is going to be this Reshiram, which probably nobody remembers, from Roaring Skies. I only have 1 copy. I don't know if I would run more if I had more. But with Turbo Blaze, if this Pokemon is active, you can attach a fire energy from your hand to one of your dragon Pokemon. So it gives us some mini energy acceleration, and it's another way for me to get a fire energy with this guy's effect, manually attach a water energy, and Salamence is going to be ready in 1 turn once again if we can't rely on double dragon energy, if we don't have it. So it's another good thing. It's another nice Pokemon that's perfectly compatible with the scoop up nets. So why not? Big basic Pokemon could come in handy. You probably won't ever attack with it because you gotta waste a lot of resources just to do 110. But I guess he's there if you're gonna be in that very desperate situation. I mean, he's not really gonna provide much difference between Salamence because they're both regular Pokemon. It's a basic, but you're not really gonna use this against Mewtwo trying to copy Glaceon's attack and shit. It's just not gonna work, but he's there for the ability. And these are all the Pokemon. It's pretty basic, pretty standard, nothing really complicated. And then for the trainers, really, really tight. I wish I could run more consistency cards and balls, but we can't. So we do 3 level ball to get our small guys. We have plenty of small guys to get. And 2 mysterious treasure This can be my all-around dragon fetcher. I need to discard a card, but we can get Salamence and we can get Bagon too. So it's good. Just any dragon Pokemon. I suppose I could even search Mew, but you're likely not going to do that. So yeah, these are the Pokemon fetchers. And then I've got the one Professor's Letter, one of my favorite item cards for energy fetching. Can't be nice with the combo with Reshiram, and just make sure you have your attachment for the turn. If you don't have the double dragon energy, I mean, it's a +1 at the end of the day. I really like this card, if you guys know me. Standard cards like the 4 rare candy, you need this to get Salamence as soon as possible. So we need to run that. I already talked about the scoop up nets a little bit. 3 of them compatible with every Pokemon in this deck essentially. Maybe you'll even use this to scoop up Salamence. But you're probably going to have to reserve this for Zigzagoon and then maybe Jirachi. If you're in a really good position and you can afford to spend one and just do more combos. Okay. And then the one switch too, can't forget about the switch. I always like having a switch around at the very minimum. It can give you a little bit of different utility compared to, running 4 scoop up nets and just not using this card. So I do 3 and 1, should still be good. Okay, and it also works with Jirachi too. We got the 1 rescue stretcher for some Pokemon recovery to the hand or the deck, depending on the game state. The 1 trainer's mail that I like to run, consistency, not much else to add. Double Via Seeker, recovery, consistency, reuse supporters, very necessary. Great card for sure. And I guess I can't forget the ace pick of choice for this deck. Computer search. What else are you really going to run? You can do Dowsing Machine if you want. If you really want to do Master Ball to add like any Pokemon, add Salamence for free, but I don't know. I wouldn't really recommend it. This can get you a supporter, which can't be handy. So Computer search is probably the best. All right. And what else? What else? Our stadiums. Or actually, let me just talk about the tools real quick. 2 tools. It's the Float Stone. This is another switching outlet that usually we're going to try and put it on Reshiram if I'm going to aim to use his Turbo Blaze a lot. But you can put it anywhere, to be honest, to have that free retreat pivot. And then the Muscle Band. This is going to give some extra attack to this guy and push for even bigger KOs, like in the 240 range, 250 range, 260 range, depending on Zigzagoon, depending on this stadium. But that's the point. I'm doing Muscle Band as opposed to the new Choice Belt because Choice Belt is only going to work with Vs. Tag Team GX Pokemon are still kind of popular and expanded. So Muscle Band, does that damage them, extra damage on a body. And it means if I'm going to put a couple of counters on a Tag Team GX to get that 1-hit KO with this guy, Muscle Band is just going to help me get the job done as opposed to the Choice Band useless in that scenario. So it's good enough. I mean, 10 less, but you just have coverage on everybody. I think this is still the best all-purpose attack boosting tool. Testament to the X and Y set. Okay. And our stadiums, just 2. I would like to have 3. You can actually put a lot of different stadiums in this deck, but I just have space for 2. So it's just the Stormy Mountains, going to give me some extra consistency early game. Grab the Dragon Pokemon, and then Devoured Field, give me a little bit of boost in my attack. Yeah, that's basically it. Another very good stadium you can use in this deck would be something like Path to the Peak, because it doesn't affect you at all, and it's going to affect a lot of stuff your opponent might be playing. But I do need that extra consistency this card can provide, and the extra damage can come up with this because it's not really that much. I mean, 220 with this difficult condition too. There's going to be a lot of Pokemon that are going to be surviving, and if you can't get 1-hit knockouts with this guy, you're not really going to accomplish much. Like, Stage 2 decks, regular Pokemon, They're very difficult to work. I don't care what anybody says, but it is what it is. We're going to try this and just try and get lucky a little bit, have some decent matchups, using this tier 4 deck. Never know. Use it for fun. Supporters, standard stuff. You guys know me. I like my Cynthias, 3 of them. I like my 1N in this deck. Double Professor's Research, Juniper essentially. The 1 Skyla, the 1 Chorus. Boss's Orders to pull stuff. And double Via Seeker. I mean, you could. It is. You can consider dropping Boss's Orders if you want, because this guy can force switches anyway, but just having that guaranteed pull that I want this Pokemon to pull and I can do it with Boss's Orders is just good. I mean, a lot of the times this guy's ability is gonna force your opponent to promote something that you're happy to kill, but I guess if you really want to drop this card and just add a consistency card or another stadium or something, but I would still keep it in with Via Seekers too. Okay, and then the energies, 4 double Dragon Energy, you must have those. If you don't even have these, don't even bother with this deck. And then we've got the 3 Water Energies and 5 Fire Energies. I do at least 3 Water because 2 might be too few. I don't really have any energy recovery in this deck too, because I would rather have Stretcher as opposed to Super Rod or something. So gotta make sure we have at least 3. Like if we're gonna put 3 and then attach one of these with this guy's effect, it just makes sense to run more fire because of this guy. So it is what it is. Like maybe I'll attach to Mew. You want to make sure you attach a fire in that case. Okay, so this is the deck profile, guys. I like Salamence. I like using regular Pokemon, although they're not that good. Oh, and Field Blower, how can I forget? 2 of these, I guess you could drop 1 if you want to, but it's important to have at least 2 expanded for me. That's how I see it. Get rid of annoying shit, annoying tools in stadiums. Like if you're going to play against the Garbodor, Ultra Necrozma, that's always going to be a thing for now anyway. So have answers to that shit. Garbodor would shut down your abilities too, which sucks. So double Field Blower, get rid of stadiums too, which is nice as opposed to the Tool Scrapper. Got that option too. And yeah, I don't think I forgot anything. So this is a deck profile, guys. I'm going to show you guys matches like I always do. Wish me luck, because I'm going to need it. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, share this video with your friends, and I'll see you guys next time. What